Hey, welcome to the Mortgage Minute this week. I'm going to do things a little bit differently rather than going through a couple of articles and talking about the economic crisis in Europe or the problem with the housing prices here in Vancouver. I'm going to shift gears and we're going to actually talk about joint venture partners. Today's Mortgage Minute is geared to real estate investors. And for all those of you out there who are going to be watching this video at Selena Chung's event on Sunday, you'll be able to get some information about joint venture partners when it comes to mortgages. So, for those who aren't familiar with the concept, a lot of times a real estate investor will go out there and buy a couple of properties and then get to the point where they have the expertise, the knowledge, and wisdom on how to buy real estate, but what they're lacking is the down payment. So they bring in a money partner, someone who has the money that can partner with them. The two go on title jointly, 50-50 partners. One provides the money, the other provides the expertise, and they go and buy real estate together. Now, the question is, I'm not going to get into the legal structures on that. You can talk to lawyers or people like lawyers who can address the legal side. But what I want to talk about is the mortgage side. How does a bank look at a joint venture partnership for real estate investors? Well, here's how it works. Very simply, the bank will take you as the real estate expert and take your income and all your liabilities. Then they take the joint venture partner, and instead of analyzing the one versus the other, the two become one entity. It's very simple. It's very black and white. They take your income, add the joint venture partner's income, so it's one income. They take your liabilities and the joint venture partner's liabilities, so there's one set of liabilities. And 40% of the joint combined income must be able to support or service all the consumer debt that is added up between the two parties put together. So again, it's a very simple debt service ratio analysis. It's no different. The way the bank analyzes one person is no different than two people. It's just that two people effectively become one. So don't overthink it too much. Don't make it more complicated than it needs to be. It's that simple. So why is this important for you? If you are a real estate investor and you're looking for joint venture partners, it's critical that you think of two components. A lot of people go out there and they just look for people who have money that they can put money into the deal. But the important thing to remember is that it's not just the money they put into the deal. They also have to show verifiable income and have manageable debts, because if someone is self-employed, doesn't declare any income, but they have a large mortgage, they could actually, when combined with you, disqualify the two put together. So you just want to be careful of that. The other thing, a lot of people ask me, well, what if I have a joint venture partner who wants to provide me the capital to put down as a down payment, but they don't want to be on the mortgage? Well, that raises a different question, because two things that a bank looks for is, number one, they're going to look to see if you can qualify for the mortgage based on your income. The second thing they're going to look for is the source of the down payment. When you look at it and they say, well, you're on title, but your joint venture partner's not, but the joint venture partner's providing the capital, and then you go to the bank and you say, oh, well, here's my qualifications, I qualify for the mortgage. They say, where's the down payment coming from? You say, well, that's coming from a joint venture partner, but don't worry about them. The bank goes, no, that won't do. They're going to, if the bank is aware that the down payment is coming from a third party, they're going to want both of you on title. So that's an important thing. And lastly on this topic, there's everything around how a bank looks at it. But you know, one of the things that I like to address when talking to individuals about how to attract joint venture capital, and that's a totally different topic, how the banks react to joint venture capital versus how you go out there and attract joint venture capital, are quite frankly two different conversations. So for those of you who are interested, I've provided an article here called Perfect Partners, and this walks you through how you would go about attracting joint venture capital from the perspective of thinking of it this way. Joint venture partnerships are like potlucks. Each of you have to bring something to the table to make it a full meal. You can't have two people bring dessert and make it a good meal. If the partners bring in the down payment, you have to bring expertise. So one of the things I challenge, you can tell I used to be a teacher, so in this article there are two homework assignments are laid out to help you structure what it is that you need to develop within yourself and what skills you need to develop in order to attract joint venture capital. The biggest lesson I can teach you is this: simply put yourself in the other person's shoes. What would you want to see in somebody else if you were going to give them your money? Well, just spin the tables around, because that's exactly what you're doing. You're asking somebody to give you money, then you're going to have to expect, they're going to look at you and they're going to have a list of expectations. So what I recommend you do is make a list of what you think you would want to see in somebody else, and those are the qualities you should develop in yourself. Again, it's laid out here in Perfect Partners, a great article that's going to give you some insight on how you can improve your chances to position yourself to attract joint venture capital. And that is today's Mortgage Minute. If you'd like a copy of Perfect Partners, it's available on my website, or send me an email at peter@peterkinch.com. Thanks, and that's the news for today.